Good evening, everyone. I am Jody Weaver, President of the Central Electric Cooperative Board and one of your Clarion County Board representatives. I know tonight's meeting is not the event we've all come to know and love, but in an effort to protect one another from contracting and spreading COVID-19, we've decided to cancel the traditional event and place it with a business meeting without the physical presence of the membership. Central Electric did accommodate members' participation in this meeting through an expanded ballot. I hope all members understand that all the decisions Central Electric made had everyone's safety being of the utmost importance. And before we begin, I would like to take the time to go around the table and allow each person here the opportunity to introduce themselves.
Yes, that starts with me, Matt Beauchamp, the CEO and General Manager.
Ken Durrett, Board Member from Butler County.
Bob Smith, Board Member from Butler County.
Michael Sloat, General Counsel.
Ken Essel, representing Venango County.
Nancy Landak, representing Armstrong County.
Rick Weaver, representing Clarion County.
In addition to those around this table, we do have some board members joining us by conference call. Althea, would you please introduce yourself?
Althea, we're not hearing you. Are you muted?
I'm sorry, Althea Smith, Board Member representing Venango County.
All right, thank you. Betty, would you please introduce yourself?
Betty, we're also not hearing you if you're muted. Betty, we're still not able to hear you if you've muted or disconnected. I will have somebody try to get her re-signed in.
All right.
That might have been her that beeped a moment ago. So,
Okay. Now that everyone has introduced themselves, I also want to remind everyone that tonight's meeting is being recorded and will be available on Central Electric website. Let's begin the 83rd Annual Meeting of the members for Central Electric Cooperative. At this time, this meeting is called to order. The agenda or order of business of the annual meeting of the members is in accordance with Article 3, Section 6 of the bylaws. Article 3, Section 4 of the bylaws of the cooperative specify that 150 members constitute a quorum. As members voting by mail or by electronic means shall be counted for the purpose of establishing a quorum, and Central Electric had 2,616 members vote. This satisfies the quorum requirement, and we shall proceed with the meeting. At this time, the elections are closed. The selection of the 2020 Tellers Committee was handled through the June issue of Central Electric's Power Lines newsletter asking for volunteers. I would like to thank each of these volunteers for accepting this important responsibility. The order of business will be the reading of the notice of the meeting, and the next order of business will be the reading of the notice of the meeting and proof of due publication of mailing thereof by the Secretary and Treasurer of the Cooperative, Althea Smith. Althea?
Good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Althea Smith, being sworn on oath, deposes and says that she is the duly elected, qualified, and acting Secretary of Central Electric Cooperative, Incorporated, hereinafter called the Cooperative, and that on the 17th day of July 2020, he caused to be mailed by survey and ballot systems to each member of the cooperative at his/her address as it appears in the records of the cooperative. A notice of the annual meeting of the members of the cooperative to be held August 21st, 2020, by depositing such notice with postage thereon, prepaid, addressed as aforesaid in the United States Post Office at Eden Prairie, Minnesota, and the attached is a true and correct copy of such notice of said meeting mailed as aforesaid.
Thank you, Althea. At this time, we're going to approve the 2019 minutes, excuse me, and financial statements. Included with the members' balance and election materials was a copy of the minutes from our 2019 annual meeting of the members. On members' ballots was a place to participate in the dispensing with the reading and approving of these minutes. The motion to dispense with the reading of the minutes of the 2019 annual meeting of the members and approve the same passed. Additionally, the members selected as the individual who officially made this motion will be recorded in the minutes from tonight's meeting. Also included with the members' balance and election materials was a copy of Central Electric's balance sheets and operating statement. Additionally, on the members' ballots was a place to participate in accepting the financial statements and waive the reading thereof. The motion to accept the financial statements and waive the reading thereof passed. The member selected as the individual who officially made this motion will be recorded in the minutes from tonight's meeting. And now we will hear again from CEO and General Manager Bat Boshaw.
Thank you, Mr. President. Well, again, welcome back to our 83rd annual meeting of the membership. I know this is not as we would typically have it. It's kind of unprecedented. I hesitated to create remarks for this evening's meeting, but I felt that if we were having a formal meeting, we should have some record talking about the year 2019. So with that, I'd like to I think the fact that we were able to adjust this meeting to what we've done tonight is a testament to the resilience of this organization and how we're able to adapt and make things happen no matter what the circumstances are. Many employees were involved in making this change very quickly and turning it around, but I did want to recognize just a few of them for the record. I know I'm going to miss a whole lot of them, and they'll be upset with me, but Renee Tritton, who's in the room with us, Emily Schumacher, and Randy Bernard were the three that were primarily responsible for making this happen. Renee was the one who oversaw it, so I just wanted to make sure we recognized her efforts in this. It's substantial in making a change from what we normally do to this. It's difficult in a typical year to talk about the previous year in August of that year and do a recap of it, but 2020 was has been anything but typical so far. So I thought it would be appropriate for me to acknowledge in my remarks the circumstances of 2020 that have led to where we're at right now. I'd like to formally thank our membership, for the record, for being as accommodating and patient with us and understanding as we try to navigate through this process together. And during a time of global pandemic and significant social unrest, I think those are two things that have led to us being here tonight. I'd also like to thank our employees for recognizing the importance of the fact that we are a business that is an essential service, and we needed to stay open and operating, and they have been able to adapt on nearly a daily basis on how we operate to be able to maintain our service and stay healthy during that process. Additionally, I wanted to thank our board of directors, both on the phone and here tonight, that have provided input and specifically support for what we've been our major goal here during this pandemic, and that was to make sure that we maintained a healthy and available workforce while still having business continuity and providing the essential service. I think it's important. I really wanted to thank the board on behalf of the entire employee group, because without your support, we wouldn't have been able to accomplish what we've done so far. I think it truly reflects the values of a cooperative in making those changes and that happen. So with that said, I'd like to hit on a couple of highlights from 2019 and maybe give a brief state of the cooperative as it is right now as well. Periodically, the board convenes to do a workshop. Every 3 or 4 years, we do a workshop to review our strategic plan. The board takes a look specifically at the strategic initiatives, the mission statement, the vision statement, our values, to make sure that you're giving us the appropriate direction and we're able to use that information to move forward. Believe it or not, that last one took place just in September of 2019. I know it seems like it was an awful long time ago, but it was it was September of 2019 when we went through it. Our primary area of emphasis, as I mentioned, was the vision, the mission, the strategic initiatives, and it's important the areas of safety, rates, reliability, and the community didn't leave our strategic plan, but the board gave them a specific priority this time. And that was very helpful as the person charged with implementing those plans. That's very valuable to us as staff, because now not only do we know what the concepts are, but we know what your priorities are as far as how you, as the membership's representative, want us to proceed. And so that added priority has allowed us to be more consistent in how we apply those resources that you provide to us. Safety continues to be the highest priority here at the cooperative, as was reflected in the strategic plan update. In 2019, personal responsibility was our major area of focus throughout the organization. That's going to be at the top of our list moving forward, no matter what else we're doing. Our first responders training, our high voltage demonstration, our safety city demonstration, we gave those to nearly 1,800 people in our cooperative service territory last year at 15 different events. So we're really getting the message out there to be safe around electricity. We revised and improved our incident response, our incident investigations, added a level of formality to that, and that's giving us the ability to more actively track what we're doing and therefore ultimately work more safely. In the area of finance and accounting, I wanted to hit some highlights. So last year we had a margin of just over $1.5 million. That led to a tier of 1.77 and a DSC, or a debt service coverage of, I should look at that number, 1.58. And that more than satisfied all the mortgage requirements for our lenders, RUS and CFC. In addition to that, our equity to asset ratio was 34.55. So that's ahead of the pace that we set in our strategic financial plan. But it reflected a slight dip from 2018, even though it's still ahead of our pace. Those financial metrics did allow for us to retire a substantial, as a matter of fact, record-breaking capital credit retirement in the amount of $1,736,314 to our members in last April's billing. So it was a substantial return to our investment. Again, a testament to what the cooperative's here for, and certainly helps our membership. There was no increase in rate from the G&T, and that led to no increase in rate to our membership in 2019. We were able to make it since June of 2016. We made it all the way through 2019 before we needed to revisit the rate increase. That said, we did do a substantial change to our rate structure. We moved, as you recall, my remarks last year spent a great deal of time describing what we were planning to do in the next month. And in September of last year, we implemented a rate structure change that moved many of our costs from the variable component of our rate to the fixed component of our rate. And just as a reminder, the value of that is that it leads to a less volatile billing for our members depending on the weather. In some respects, it may have harmed the cooperative from a financial standpoint in 2020, because this has been a wonderful year as far as weather is concerned for electric usage. But for our membership, it's actually mitigating their bills somewhat, because it softened what is the variable amount. So since they're using more electricity, they're paying a little bit less for that. So as I described last year, that really is a win-win. It fixes more of our revenue, but it also takes away some of those highs and lows for our membership. And it also gives us the ability to have a little bit more rate stability. Reliability is always a area of focus, and while 2019 was better than 2018, and 2018 was wasn't better than 17 because of that large storm, we did also continue to put quite a bit of effort and resources into the reliability of our system. In the area of capital improvement projects, we spent approximately $4 million in capital improvement projects. Given that trees are about 50% of our outages, in 2019, we also put additional resources towards the clearing of our rights of way. As we've discussed before, we've added a number of contractors to that effort so that we have not all of our eggs in one basket, and we're able to get more of that work done in a year. In addition to that, we've really put emphasis on what we've described as reclaiming our rights of way. And this year, we're starting to see the fruits of that in conjunction with this great weather pattern we're seeing. That's that. We've also, last year, just keeping with our upgrade and maintenance, we inspected nearly 7,400 poles, but as a as a point of note, in inspecting those poles, only 93 out of that 7,400 failed. And we replaced all those 93 that failed, but that's a very small percentage of failure. And we additionally added 525 new poles to our system as well. So again, a lot of our infrastructure is being replaced and inspected on a very regular basis, so it's being kept up. We continued our varied efforts to support the community in 2019. We distributed 223 Energy Star appliances that total over $14,000 for our members. Rebates, not the appliances themselves. We helped 360 families in need pay electric bills during the cooling or the heating season in the winter through the Family Fund program. We sent 8 students to the youth tour, and we gave 10 scholarships, the Good Neighbor scholarships at $2,000 each. We donated $28,000 to not-for-profit organizations through our employee-directed giving program, and an additional $15,000 through the capital improvement program to not-profit organizations that the board directs. And I think the important thing of all of those programs, the most important thing of all those programs, specifically for the record and to remind the board, none of those cost our members any money. They come from either the donations from membership, our unclaimed property or the estates money that we are able to keep from the state, or in the case of the Energy Star appliance rebates, we utilize contributions from our G&T organization that because of the renewable energy credits from Raystown Hydroelectric Plant, they're able to give some of that money back to the distribution cooperatives, and we're utilizing that for a rebate program. So none of those monies are increasing our rate. To bring this to a close, 2019 was really an outstanding year in a lot of ways for the cooperative. And while 2020 is presenting a unique challenge in how we're operating, we've been able to adapt this business to make sure we're providing this essential service throughout and maintain our business continuity throughout the process. And again, with that in mind, I want to reiterate my thanks and the thanks of the employee to our membership, the employees, and our board for all that you've done in helping us work together to get through this process. And I really want to thank you for my opportunity to continue to do that with you. So I guess that's the end of my remarks. Again, quite brief. I'd like to move on to the response to some questions that we received. I won't be giving any specific responses. We only received 3 questions prior to the meeting, and they were all 3 specific to an individual. I would like to mention one of them was a question that we've gotten kind of repeatedly since we took the old tower down and put the new one up. It's regarding the NOAA weather radio. There was some question about whether or not it was going to be restored. We had a contractual debate with them. We finally got that resolved. The NOAA weather radio should be in service. We've done everything on our side. If it's not in service, it's because they haven't put it in place yet. So we are in a good position right now with that. The other was a question regarding the rate structure change, and that was a discussion with specifically a seasonal member that both Lisa Hoover, our Director of Member Services, and myself had lengthy conversation with that member with regard to that. I won't belabor it any further because, as I mentioned, I gave a presentation at last year's annual meeting, and I mentioned it in my remarks tonight as well. So we've given that information to our membership fairly substantially. And then the last question was, regarding bill formatting. It was something that the member didn't recognize, thought something had been taken away that wasn't in fact taken away. So Lisa Hoover was able to respond to that one as well. With that is the end of the questions that were presented ahead of time.
All right. Thank you. At this time, we'll turn this over to Mike.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and explain the election process and the nominating committee. In accordance with Pennsylvania's Electric Cooperative Law of 1990, electric cooperatives are managed by a board of directors. As required by its bylaws, Central Electric's board consists of 8 directors. Each director's seat is derived from districts that were created from the counties which the cooperative serves. Each director's seat is a term of 4 years, and each year 2 director seats are up for election. The 2 seats up for election this year are from Butler County and Clarion County. Earlier this year, the cooperative's monthly newsletter called Power Lines, which has been archived in the cooperative's website, invited cooperative members of both Butler and Clarion County to file a petition to run for these respective seats. The eligibility requirements for serving as a director of the cooperative are provided in the cooperative's bylaws and the member handbook. The cooperative bylaws and the member handbook are available at the cooperative's website at www.central.coop. To ensure that petitioning members are eligible, the board appoints members to a nominating committee. The nominating committee reviews the petitions to verify that the petitioning members are qualified in accordance with the cooperative's bylaws and state regulations. Those that qualify are nominated and their names are placed on the ballots. The cooperative bylaws also provide that incumbent directors are automatically nominated as long as they continue to meet the qualifications. We recognize and thank the following members serving on the nominating committee: Harvey Luce of Armstrong County, Joe Gibson of Butler County, Ronald Morrison of Butler County, James Reed of Clarion County, Randy Theron of Clarion County, Dennis Lamb of Forest County, Carl Gadsby of Venango County, and Ron Perenick of Venango County. There were three qualifying candidates nominated to run for the Butler County Director seat. The incumbent director, Kenneth Durrett of Butler, Timothy Lindy of Slippery Rock, Joseph Reed of Butler, and there were two qualifying candidates nominated to run for the Clarion County Director seat. Incumbent director, Richard Weaver of Knox, and Barney Knorr of Fern. The ballots were mailed by the cooperative membership, permitting each member 4 options for voting. First option is by paper mail. The second option is online through the cooperative's website. The third option is online through SmartHub, the cooperative's online account management service. And the fourth option was members could cast their ballots here tonight before the beginning of the meeting. The mailed and online votes had to be received no later than 4 p.m. yesterday, and the paper ballots tonight were accepted up to the commencement of the meeting. The collection and tabulation of the mailed and online ballots received prior to tonight's meeting was handled by an independent agency, Survey and Ballot Systems of Eden Prairie, Minnesota. Survey and Ballot Systems reported those results to the Judge of Elections, Clint Mattern. Mr. Mattern was appointed to serve the board for the Judge of Elections tonight and is a certified public accountant. He has offices in Emlenton and in Meadville. As the Judge of Elections, Mr. Mattern is overseeing the teller's tabulation of the ballots that were cast tonight, as well as the tabulations that were mailed and received by Survey and Ballot Systems. I would like to thank the following members and volunteers that served on the Tellers Committee: Margaret Boyer from Butler County, Theodore Walker from Butler County, Michelle Fetzer from Clarion County, and Beverly McAnallen from Clarion County. And the Judge of Elections will announce the results very soon. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. At this time, is there any unfinished business this evening? All right. Is there any new business this evening? Being there is no unfinished business nor new business, let us continue on to the election results. And at this time, I would like to ask for Clint Mattern to come in.
My name is Clint Mattern. I have been appointed to serve as a judge of elections for the Central Electric Director election. The 2020 Central Electric Cooperative Director election results are the following. For Butler County, Kenneth Durrett, incumbent nominee, with 1,184 votes. Timothy Lindy with 816 votes. Joseph Reed with 412 votes. The winner for Butler County is Kenneth Durrett. For Clarion County, Richard Weaver, incumbent nominee, with 1,606 votes. Barney Knorr with 880 votes. The winner for Clarion County is Richard Weaver. Thank you.
Thank you, Clint. Thank you, Mr. Mattern, and congratulations, Ken, and congratulations, Rick. If there's no further business or discussion, I declare the 83rd Annual Meeting of Central Electric Cooperative adjourned.